I didn't think we would be back here this quickly. So we have two topics that we're going to go over tonight. But first, guys, welcome back to the visiting ward. And secondly, hey, DJ, you want to do me a favor and hit that drunken shanty? Please. And thank you.
Grab your mug and don't be slow. The barrels roll, the fire's bright. We drink and sing all through the night. The bard's off key, the drums are loud. We'll cheer the stupid praise the proud. The dice may fly, the chairs may break. The innkeeper sighs for goodness sake. We toast to luck, to fight, to ale, to shaky hands and faces pale. Heave-ho, fill your mug, drink it down, give a shrug, sing it loud, sing it free. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. Heave-ho, clap your hands, stomp your boots, join the band, spin around and shout with glee. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. The rogues asleep beneath the table, the wizard's hats become unstable. The dog ran off with grubs last pie, we laugh until we start to cry. The fire sparks, the roof may creak, the half-orc burps, the halfling squeaks. We'll drink some more, we'll sing some more, the tavern shakes from roof to floor. Heave-ho, fill your mug, drink it down, give a shrug, sing it loud, sing it free. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. Heave-ho, clap your hands, stomp your boots, join the band, spin around and shout with glee. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. One last toast, the night is done. We're half asleep, but half more fun. The floor is sticky, the roof might fall. We wouldn't trade it for gold at all. Heave-ho, we'll rise again for mugs and shouts and wild, loud men. The morning comes with hangover cries, but tonight the ale wins the prize. Heave-ho, fill your mug, drink it down, give a shrug, sing it loud, sing it free. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. Heave-ho, clap your hands, stomp your boots, join the band, spin around and shout with glee. Heave-ho, 1, 2, 3. Stomp, clap, slows, fading cheers. The mugs are empty, the fire's low, but the song will live wherever we go. Heave-ho, fill your mug until the next show.
So, tonight's topic first, welcome back. Today we're talking about something that hides in plain sight. It's often mistaken for loyalty, love, or selflessness. But over time, it can quietly dismantle who you are. Today's topic is codependency and how it erodes you and erodes your identity. What is it? What it is, how it forms, how it ruins a person's sense of self, and most importantly, how healing begins. If you've ever felt like your worth depends on someone else's mood, if you've ever felt like, if you've ever felt anxious about uh, when you're not needed, if you give until you're empty and still feel guilty for wanting more, this episode's for you. Take a breath. You're not broken, but something did happen to you. Codependency is not just caring too much. It's a survival pattern where your identity becomes tied to another person. You your needs feel less important or dangerous. Love feels conditional on usefulness and sacrifice. At its core, codependency says, I'm only safe, lovable, or valuable when I'm needed. And it often shows up as chronic people pleasing, fear of abandonment, overfunctioning in relationships, difficulty saying no, or feeling responsible for other people's emotions. And here's the hard truth: codependency doesn't feel toxic at first, it feels like purpose. Um, I've seen the chronic people pleasing. You feel like you have to please people that you barely know, or friends, or even please your significant other to the point of you don't feel like you're worth anything yeah, without them. Um, Fear of abandonment. Guys, fear of abandonment is real. You're afraid to be by yourself. You're afraid that if someone leaves you, you're being abandoned. You're not being abandoned. That person leaves you, it's because, let's be honest, they probably don't want you anymore. And I'm not saying that it's always going to be that way. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is codependency doesn't come from weakness. It comes from adaptation. Many codependent patterns form in chaotic households, emotional, emotionally unavailable parenting, homes where love was conditional, environments where you had to be the strong one. As a child, you may have learned keeping the peace keeps you safe. Your needs create conflict. Being useful earns love. So you became one of the following: a caretaker, a fixer, emotional regulator, that skill that kept you alive once, but as an adult, it can destroy you. Um, I've seen all three of these. As far as the you became, it's it's not pretty. The caretaker tends to be the person that basically takes care of the household. The fixer becomes someone who fixes everything, and the emotional regulator is the person who basically is there to regulate emotions of everyone. But let's be very clear: codependency doesn't hurt relationships. It slowly erases the self. Number one, loss of identity. You stop knowing what you like. You stop knowing what you want. You stop knowing what you feel. Your internal compass is replaced by how are they doing. Emotional exhaustion is number two. You're always on, always anticipating, always managing. Rest feels unsafe. Stillness feels wrong. Number three, you give freely, then feel angry for giving. You feel trapped, then feel guilty for wanting freedom. So you turn that anger inward. Number four, attraction to unhealthy partners. Codependency pairs perfectly with emotional unavailability, addiction, narcissistic traits, chronic instability, not because you want pain, but because chaos feels familiar. Number five, self abandonment. This is the deepest wound. You abandon yourself before anyone else can. Your needs become negotiable. Your boundaries become optional. Over time, you feel like a person. You feel like a function. Um, it's true. Self abandonment means that you have abandoned yourself. You have basically given up. You shouldn't do that. No one should ever give up. Uh, Attraction to unhealthy partners. Addiction. Addiction is not just drugs. It's not just um, smoking. It's it's a long list of things. Addiction can be, I hate to say it, but there's several addictions. drinking, smoking, drugs, porn. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of addictions. Emotionally unavailability. In other words, your emotions aren't in it. It's basically you're a shell. Because if you've reached self abandonment, you're a shell. You're not a person anymore, you're a shell. What's so hard about codependency is the healing. Healing codependency feels terrifying because being needed feels like love. Saying no feels like rejection. Choosing yourself feels selfish. There are often hidden fears. If I stop giving, I'll be abandoned. But here's the truth. You're already abandoning yourself to stay, and that costs much more than loneliness ever could. Healing codependency is not about becoming cold or distant, it's about becoming whole. Step one, awareness without shame. You don't judge the pattern, you name it. This kept me safe once, it no longer serves me. Step two, relearning needs. Start small. What do I feel right now? What do I need today? Your needs are not inconveniences, they're information. Step three, boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries don't push people away, they reveal who respects you. There we go. Step four, actually, let's continue with step three. I didn't read it, I didn't get it all. Discomfort is part of healing. It does not mean you're doing wrong. Step four, tolerating guilt. Guilt will show up, let it. Guilt is not a moral compass, it's a withdrawal symptom. Step five, therapy, support groups, honest friendships. Healing does not happen in isolation. In closing, if no one has told you this, hear it now. You were never meant to earn love through exhaustion. You were never meant to disappear to keep others comfortable. Love that costs you your identity is not love, it's survival. And you don't have to live in survival anymore. Healing is not quick, but it is possible. And it starts the moment you choose to come back to yourself. So, essentially, healing takes time. If you start small, let's start with relearning needs. Ask yourself if you're trying to heal from it. What do I feel right now? What do I need today? Your needs are never an inconvenience, they're information. Your needs are important. Don't ever abandon yourself. Never. Because self abandonment hurts worse than someone abandoning you. Self abandonment can lead to many, many things. But with that, let's close that door. Let's open a different one. Let's talk about boundaries. Not the kind people accuse you of being selfish for. Not walls, not ultimatums. We're talking about boundaries as self respect. If you've ever said yes when your body screamed no, felt guilty for needing space, being told you're too sensitive for setting limits, this is for you. Boundaries don't change who you are. They reveal who belongs in your life. A boundary is a limit that protects your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. Boundaries answer three simple questions. What am I responsible for? What am I not responsible for? What behavior will I accept? Healthy boundaries sound like I'm not available for that. I need time to think. That doesn't work for me. Boundaries are not controlling others, they're about honoring yourself. Guys, if you have boundaries and someone's willing to push you to try and break those boundaries, don't let them. Always uphold your boundaries. But just remember, most people weren't taught boundaries, they were taught compliance. If you grew up in a home where conflict felt unsafe, love was conditional, and your emotions were minimized, you learned keeping others comfortable keeps you safe. Saying no leads to rejection, and you need to cause problem. Your needs cause problems. So boundaries feel like risk, guilt, and fear. That doesn't mean boundaries are wrong. It means your nervous system learns survival first. So boundaries are basically your nervous system learning to ultimately give you survival. Boundaries are ways to keep you in check. It's to make sure that you, as a person, do not cross a line. Regardless of what your boundaries are, I'm not judging anyone. But without boundaries, one, you become emotionally overdrawn. You give more than you have. Burnt out becomes your baseline. Two, resentment builds. You say yes out of fear. You feel angry for being taken advantage of. Three, you teach people how to treat you, not intentionally, but consistently. Four, you lose trust in yourself. Every ignored boundary is a small self betrayal. Over time, you stop listening to your own signals. So you start to lose yourself when you ignore your boundaries. You start to lose trust in yourself. You start to teach people, if you have no boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You become basically someone that it's not intentional, but you do it. Say resentment. You say yes out of fear. Then you feel angry for being taken advantage of. You shouldn't have said yes in the first place. You give more than you have, which leads to burnout, which becomes your baseline. Burnout burnout doesn't just happen to gamers, guys. It happens to people in general. And if burnout becomes your baseline because you have no boundaries, then you need to set some. But there are myths to boundaries. Let's break some, shall we? Myth number one: boundaries are selfish. Truth. Boundaries, the truth about it. Boundaries prevent resentment and emotional debt. Myth number two: if they loved me, I wouldn't need boundaries. The truth: healthy relationships require boundaries. Myth number three: boundaries will push people away. The truth: they push people away who benefit from you having none. Myth number four: I have to explain my boundary. Truth: no is a complete sentence. So, yes, no is a complete sentence. You say no, that is it. That is the end of it. It should not go any further. If someone is willing to break your boundaries, asking you repeatedly to do something that you don't want to do, number one, that is not a friend. A friend will never break your boundaries. Number two, you need to get rid of that person in your life. They're trouble. Step one on how to start setting boundaries. Boundaries often. Step one: notice your body. Boundaries often show up as tension, fatigue, And irritation. Your body notices before your mind does. Step 2, start small. You don't need dramatic confrontations. Start with low stakes boundaries. Examples. I can't talk right now. I'll get back to you. Step 3, expect discomfort. Guilt is not proof you're wrong, it's proof you're changing. Step 4, hold the line. You don't need to convince anyone. Consistency teaches people what to expect. Step 5, adjust as you grow. Boundaries evolve. That's healthy. So hold the line. Think of it as something that, if you've ever watched the show last I believe it was Last Viking or something like that. I forget the name of it. Um, or Vikings in general. Think of boundaries as a shield wall. It's a way to protect you. So yes, let's talk about people reacting badly. Some people will push back. Some people will minimize your needs. Some people will accuse you of changing. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means it's just that you're setting boundaries. You're holding the line. You're calling for a shield wall. You're not doing something wrong. You're doing something right. But pay attention to who listens. Pay attention to who adjusts. Pay attention to who respects your no. Boundaries reveal alignment. Boundaries also reveal who is actually listening to you. It also reveals who you can trust, because those that respect your boundaries will respect you. It's the same thing as codependency. Healing from codependency takes time. Healing from not having any boundaries also takes time. A message to you guys, the listeners. You are not difficult. You are not demanding. You are not wrong for protecting your peace. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. And you decide who gets the keys. Take care of yourself, and you don't owe access to anyone at the cost of your well-being. Guys, everything that I've talked about, from boundaries to codependency, basically making you a shell of yourself. You need to think, am I codependent? Do I depend on someone else? Do I depend on pleasing other people or people in general? Do I depend on having a certain person around? If you do, then you need to heal. You need to start the healing process. If you don't have boundaries, you need to set some. Boundaries are there to protect you. Boundaries are there to, as I said before, they are not walls. They are doors with locks. And you decide who gets the key. So, guys, in closing, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me as far as listening on Spotify and watching on the YouTube. So, I'm going to say this. Always remember to tell someone you love them. Always remember to show gratitude to those who give a shit. People who give a shit are very, very rare. People who actually want to be your friend are very, very rare. People who are friends that stick by you for God knows how long, they're rare. They're very rare. So I'm going to shut the doors, lock the lunatics back in their cells, back in their padded rooms, and I will see you guys again soon. Until then, hey DJ, how about we rattle them walls one more time?
In the halls where the whispers crawl, where the broken shadows stain the wall, a heavy step